Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming. I'm scanning the room looking for our speakers to make sure we're all here in the room. Last time I missed somebody and they didn't get to speak. I'm Jim Sweeney. I'm the director of the Franklinton Development Association. Thank you all very much for showing up. I couldn't be more excited than I am right now at this point. This project, the Columbus Idea Foundry in Franklinton, is really going to benefit this community. Alex Bandar is going to speak a little bit later, and he'll certainly get into this a lot more. But in my opinion, the Columbus Idea Foundry is the perfect addition to what we're building down here in Franklinton. I think we can all see it for ourselves. Just the energy in the room right before I started talking anyway. Look around. You can feel the optimism. This is the future of Franklinton. Thank you. We've come a very long way, or we've still got a very long way to spread this energy investment all the way to Central Avenue, but we've absolutely started. Thank you, Mayor Coleman, for having the vision and the leadership to do the hard work, hard things needed to bring back Franklinton. Thank you for trusting in the community to do this project, to let us do the work on the ground. There are many ways, easier ways this building could have gone, but we had an idea and you supported us. I hope you're happy with the way this is going, the way it's going so far. Your staff has been wonderful, from creating the award-winning East Franklinton Creative Community Plan to the improvements of both infrastructure and policy to running the Green Columbus program, which was a critical tool in handling some of the relatively minor but still expensive environmental concerns of this building. I'm so grateful for the support and friendship of the Columbus Foundation. Doug is here somewhere. There he is. So grateful to also the Art Place America and to the Finance Fund. You've been very, very helpful for us on this project, and you helped pay for it. The build out of this place was a truly great experience. Sorry. And we did it during the coldest winter on record. We had a lot of chilly meetings in here, but we got it done on time and on budget. Thanks to our great team of Triad Architecture, Jay Panzer at Facility Strategies Limited, and Compton Construction. Everyone did great work. Compton really went the extra mile. Very, very impressed with Harold and Blake and their team. Thanks to my bosses, the board of the Franklinton Development Association. Lisa Pat McDaniel is here. Bruce Warner is here. Representative Michael Stenziano is here. And I apologize to those of you whose faces I cannot see or haven't seen yet. This is your neighborhood, and I'm honored by your trust and support as we plan and execute projects in what has been an extremely challenging and just crazy real estate environment. Nothing we do is easy, and you're always there to help with help and guidance. Thanks to everyone who volunteered and invested in Franklinton, especially the Harmony Project for bringing One Week, One Neighborhood project to Franklinton last month. They made a lot of great improvements around here. Thanks for the mostly excellent coverage from the media on what we're doing. Thanks for making me a very, very minor celebrity. Have you tried the Spring Sweeney cocktail at Strongwater? It's delicious. And refreshing. Thanks to the Columbus Arts and Maker community. You've been doing great work and building something special down here in Columbus, in Franklinton also. I can't say how happy it makes me to see you here in see you here today. Thank you for coming. One last thank you. Our friends at Staff Titinius and Hollister sponsored this event. After the event, they will be buying everyone a drink at Rehab and Strongwater. Food and spirits. So go check them out. Check out the new Franklinton watering hole. Spend a little time down here this afternoon. Give it a try. Strongwater just had has a whole new menu. They got rid of the last drink they named after me and put a new one on. So with that, I would like to introduce Doug Kreidler. The Columbus Foundation has been a major supporter of this project, not only with a grant for construction, but for also putting us close to another amazing organization, Art Place America, who provided another grant to make this happen. Please join me in welcoming President of the Columbus Foundation, Doug Kreidler.
I will leave the proclamations to the public officials. Just on behalf of the private sector, if you will, I want to, on behalf of Dan Sharp, who's here, a colleague of mine, and is Haley here as well, I believe, somewhere from the Columbus Foundation, to say that our place, which is a national group of funders, all the marquee names of the big foundations in America, some major international banks, that we helped attract the attention of because we believed in Alex, and we believed in his dream, and we believed in what Jim is doing, and obviously what the city and the county are doing in investing and believing in this area. But we believed in the people in this project. And Jim Collins, the author of Good to Great, a multi-million selling book, once told me that if more funders believed in the who, not just the what, that great things could happen. And in this case, we believed and believe in the who, and we're just so excited to see what that work and those folks and these folks involved in today and the folks in this room. You're not just bystanders, you're not just spectators, but all of you in this room are helping to co-create a great community. We honor each of you, but more than anything today, we honor the accomplishment of the opening of the Idea Foundry and Alex Bandar's accomplishment. So thank you very much for the opportunity to say hello and thanks.
Thanks, Doug. The next speaker is Mark Barbash. He's the Chief Operating Officer at the Finance Fund. The Finance Fund provided FDA the seed money on this building and many other projects that we've done and many more that are on their way. Sometimes the small nonprofit has a good idea and only needs a relatively small amount of money to move the project forward. That's where Finance Fund becomes a real hero. Mark Barbash, please.
I heard Jim get up here and say, check. And for those of us who are funders, that's usually the right question to ask, which is, where is the check? As a great American said, excuse me while I whip this out. All right, who said that? Yeah, that's right. Finance Fund was really happy to play a small role in what's happening here in Franklinton, but particularly to recognize the work that Alex and Jim are doing. We're a nonprofit, and what we try to do is support other nonprofit community development corporations with some of the early money that helps things happen on the what if that maybe it won't happen. So our hope is that we continue to play that role. For me, what is personally exciting about Franklinton is the fact that this excitement and this activity and these ideas are coming from the ground up. And that's really important for Columbus, that's really important for Ohio, and it's a real lesson on how to make community and economic development work in a neighborhood to help it grow and sustain itself. So congrats to Jim, congrats to Alex, where are you? And also thank you to the mayor for his support of these projects. Appreciate it so much.
Thanks, Mark. Next, we'll hear from Representative Michael Stinziano, who's not only our state representative in the district, but is also an FDA board member. Please welcome the coolest guy in the State House, Michael Stinziano.
It's easy to be told you're the coolest guy in the State House when you represent the best 22 square miles in the entire state. And part of that best 22 square miles is what's happening in Franklinton. Great neighborhood, a great community, and very excited to be here for this groundbreaking. It was only a couple months ago we had a questionable drill race, and they threw it for the mayor, which was a good move, Alex. And to see what's already happened and what's going to happen in the years to come is very exciting. As an FDA board member, I appreciate the work of my other FDA members that Jim mentioned, and those that we forgot or didn't see, apologize. But it's just exciting for this moment to be here. I know the hard work that's gone in to the Founders Finance Fund, Columbus Foundation, for their support, for their belief, and to get what's happening. It's that getting moment. I know the mayor has a lot of conversations of trying to get people on board of what's happening in this city, in this community. And for folks to understand that early, be supportive, and have moments like this is truly amazing and appreciative. So welcome. Look forward to whatever amazing ribbon cutting type ceremony is going to go forward. And while we all don't have a drink named after us, appreciate all that Jim has meant to Franklinton as well, and for us to be at this moment. So thank you, Jim, and thank you all for being here and sharing in this moment.
Thanks, Michael. We're very happy to also have a partner in the Franklin County Commissioners. We are working with them on several housing projects. We also build houses here in Franklinton. It's the main thing that we do, actually, affordable housing. And so we're really honored and happy to have Franklin County Commissioner Paula Brooks here to say a few words.
This is so great. You know, a lot of people say that when you are at an event and you take in with all of your senses what's happening, you'll remember it. So everybody breathe in. Can you smell that foundry sort of smell out there? You know, it reminds me of my dad. He could pick up any tool and make something happen. And you know, this is not just great for Franklinton. It's not just great, Mark, for Ohio. This is great for America. A couple of weeks back, I was at the White House. We were talking about manufacturing and the need for America to make things again. This is how it's going to happen. So let's give yourselves a round of applause. This is phenomenal. Thank you very much. And on behalf of the Franklin County Board of Commissioners, and on behalf of this Franklinton area being our oldest part of Franklin County, this is where it all began. I want to present this resolution to Jim and the entire, where is Alex here? Come on over, Alex. And the entire Columbus Idea Foundry on opening the largest makerspace in the world. Congratulations.
I'm going to introduce you. Sure. Awesome. Before I let Alex and the mayor speak, I want to point out one other resolution. This is from our Senator Sherrod Brown's office. They gave us this lovely proclamation. Well, gave Idea Foundry this lovely proclamation. There you go, Alex. So recognition up and down the chain, all the way to the federal level. Awesome. So that just leaves two more people to speak. I met Dr. Alex Bandar about 2 years ago and learned what they do. He loves being called Dr. Bandar, by the way. Learned what they do and decided, well, didn't decide immediately, but grew the idea that a makerspace in East Franklinton to complement and work with what's going on, the amazing stuff that's happening over at 400 West Rich, the amazing stuff that's happening over at COSI, amazing stuff that's happening on our riverfront, everything on the other side of the freeway, and all the other stuff that we've got planned going that way. It's the perfect fit. Couldn't be more thrilled to have him and the Idea Foundry and his folks in the neighborhood. Before I let him speak, I want to say thank you to all my friends who showed up today. All of you, I really appreciate it. Everybody in the crowd. This is a wonderful day, and I'm so happy you could all be part of it. With that, I give you Dr. Alex Bandar.
Microphone still working? Those sound great. Well, at the groundbreaking, I think I called it overwhelming to be here. This is more than overwhelming. I don't know what that next word is, but that's what it is. I'm going to speak for a few minutes today, then I'm going to talk about what we're doing, and then invite the mayor to speak, and then we're going to have our ribbon cutting. First, we'll talk about where we came from, what we're doing here, where we're going. As you may know, we're a community workshop. That means we have tools, and everyone from people's dads to students use those tools, take classes, learn how to weld, learn how to 3D print, then buy membership, come here and use the workshop like it's theirs. So little uncomfortable with all the Dr. Alex, but it's everyone's shop, and it's an open secret that I'm the worst maker here. So everyone else can probably hammer a nail a bit better than I can. We are the most active makerspace in the world, as proclaimed by Make Magazine, which is the kind of champion of this culture. And they, maybe 18 months ago, challenged all the cities around the world to see who could bring the most people to do 3D printing or electronics and programming or robotics under one roof. And places like our sister cities, Portland, Indianapolis, competed. Cosmopolitan cities like New York, London, Singapore competed. Nobody was more surprised than we were when we came in first. Thanks to Mr. Ethan Dix, who's right here in the center. He had his own special brand of talent in the Antarctic for a number of years, working down there on polar telescopes and stuff like that. But for every month, for 4.5 years, has been bringing people here to do 3D printing. Then also electronics and programming. We came in first for that event as well. We came in second for robotics, but the high school team that we sponsor, they themselves came in first in their own international competition, beating out 2,500 other schools. And we plan to build a robot fight club downstairs in the basement in their honor. And in fact, we have a number of folks from COSI here today. A number of COSI members are members of the shop. They're making ice cream with liquid nitrogen outside. I don't know if they've started or if they'll be doing it afterwards, but one of our other members has invented an aftermarket pickup truck tailgate insert that can turn your tailgate on your truck into a workbench. It can also be a beer tap system, and they're going to be dispensing root beer today. And we'll be having ice cream root beer floats made in that COSI CIF way that I think is a fun blend of art and tech. And again, happy to be members or neighbors with 400 West Rich. We signed our first 400 member a couple days back is Gavin. I think I saw Gavin right there. And in fact, he's a bronze sculptor, made a sculpture of a young child named Gabriel that's going to go to Kings Island, part of the A Kid Again nonprofit that donates tickets to families with children undergoing cancer treatment. And a couple days before it was being shipped, he caught me at Strong Water and said, "You're with the Idea Foundry, right?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Can you 3D scan my statue?" I said, "Well, what's your deadline? What's your budget?" He said, "Well, it's shipping in 2 days, and I have no budget." So thankfully, our friends Knockout Concepts, I don't know if they're here right now, they invented a handheld 3D scanner. I gave them a call. They came 12 hours later, Saturday morning, in Gavin's studio, scanning that statue and actually made that 3D sculpture. They're one of our first up-and-outs that have met people that founded their company here. Now they're renting tech startup office space just down the street on Rich Street. So really seeing this revitalization of a neighborhood with the art and tech crew. And that's that blend of art and tech that I really like to see. So under this roof, we have a spectrum of people that I haven't seen other than on a college campus. Artists, web developers, designers and fabricators, business people. And I was trying to think of a common theme that describes everyone. Because there are many people here say, you know, I love this place because I'm hanging out with people I wouldn't normally meet or ever hang out with in my own life. And it's hard to put one phrase, but I think the one, especially after the last epic month where dozens of volunteers worked hours and hours and days to come here, I think the one common theme is bewilderingly hard-working people, and that's what I see in all the members here. You might think we'd add smart to that for open and smart as a city in Columbus. We have 3D printers. It sounds like smart stuff, but I think hard-working leads to smart. That's you're not necessarily born that way. You work hard. It's hard to study. It's hard to learn, but if you work that hard, good things come. And thankfully, the city, Art Place America, Columbus Foundation, we'll get to formal thanks later. I'm proud and grateful beyond words that people have liked this mission and helped push it forward. So that's some of our community. We will say huge thanks again to Art Place for giving the grant. And it was Doug Kreidler that originally suggested we look at the Art Place grant when Jim and I were thinking about how to pay for the first floor build out here. And then followed up with a grant from the Columbus Foundation itself. But not only from a professional point of view, does Doug help out in terms of pointing us towards these opportunities. But he and his wife Monica also jumped into the trenches and got their hands dirty with some creatives during our Valentine's Day date night back in February, where we had a dozen different couples come do things like mosaic, tile work, tin type photography, 3D printed chocolate, things like that. And grateful to have someone who doesn't just help out from the mahogany office, but actually jump in and get your hands dirty too. Also very grateful to be working with the FDA. Didn't know that things like community development corporations existed or that there are people charged with making neighborhoods better. Grateful that they are. And we think that going forward, we're going to be launching a fundraising campaign together where the monies that have been spent to build out the first floor helped to land us here, helped to get us on our feet and operating. But after the event today, I'd encourage everyone to walk around, take a tour of the place, check out upstairs too. And upstairs is a beautiful second floor with hardwood floors, lots of windows, but it's going to need some work. We're looking to raise $1.25 million. We have a plan to do that. And we couldn't be more glad that those monies are going to go to Jim and the Franklin Development Association. They're going to build out the building according to our further needs, office spaces, event spaces, looking for software developers, graphic artists, business developers, patent attorneys. So you come down to the first floor, you build your widget, you go upstairs, someone gives you a logo, a website, a business plan, and protects or trademarks your idea. So that's what we're looking to do going forth. They will spend those monies that we're going to raise to build out the place, then we're going to buy the building back from the FDA. So in the short run, we get a beautiful building, largest and brightest and newest and most functional, I would argue, makerspace in the world. Then our money, instead of going to a bank, is going right back to Jim and the FDA and then back into the neighborhood. So in this way, we think this is a really exciting partnership that we'd like to see replicated elsewhere with creative groups partnering with nonprofits to really bring something exciting to neighborhoods that need them. Regarding the Smart and Open, too. The Intelligent Cities Forum came to Columbus last year and again this year. And I hope people know that Columbus was the only city in North America nominated last year to be one of the 7 smartest cities in the world, and again this year, too. And they came to Franklinton as the city pitched Franklinton as an arts and innovation center. And I don't know if Jim thought that this would be an arts and innovation center 10, 12 years ago when you first started. He's nodding his head. He knew. It's all unfolding according to Jim's plan. So they visited Battelle, they visited COSI, and they visited the Columbus Idea Foundry. And they saw a sign that one of our members, Gary Milosevic, which I think I see way in the back, had made. And of course, our letters are CIF, and the Intelligent Cities Forum's letters are ICF. And when the judge returned to Manhattan, he called up the city and said, "Love the tour. I wonder, can we get one of those signs? Can you make it spell ICF?" So we're doing that right now. Come back on Sunday, see Gary wiring it up. And indeed, I've been grateful to be invited to give the cultural heritage presentation on behalf of the city to the judging committee in Manhattan next week. So we've had a long, long month. Thank you very much. So we're doing our best. We're hoping for a good vote out there. And that's where one of the other reasons that, as a kind of hyper-manic New Englander from Boston, it took a while to get used to a different pace of life in Columbus and to learn about the Midwest humility here that sometimes fights against our better interests. So I'm proud that Mayor Coleman is asking us to walk with a little bit more swagger, and that the Columbus Foundation is highlighting first in the nation's or first in the world's individuals and institutions. And we're doing our part to help spread that word and demonstrate exactly what's going on. Because I didn't know that there is such a tech hub, such an innovation hub. Certainly wasn't me winning those 3D printing awards. It was the community of people around the flag that we had planted, and that's absolutely here. There just isn't enough people patting themselves on the back. So thank you again for the swagger and the first in the worlds. A few quick thank yous, and then I'll get off the podium, introduce them there, and we'll do some ribbon cutting. My family's in town, and I think my mom is probably hiding way in the back there, and we'll embarrass the hell out of her, why not? So every conscientious act I've ever done, every selfless act, is all thanks to Mom. And in fact, if you can believe it, if you can believe it, I was a tall, skinny, awkward guy growing up, and an even more awkward young kid who was jealous of the older students who could tie their shoes, and I couldn't at the time. And Mom, instead of watching me get teased by the other kids or embarrassed to tie my shoes, actually invented a device that would hold your shoes, your shoelaces still, so you could tie them for folks like me who are a little awkward, or people with different abilities. And actually, she got a patent on it, and it was on TV in Boston years ago, where she said, well, if mother is the necessity, if necessity is the mother of invention, that was the necessity. She was the mother, and the little device was the invention. So thanks again, Mom. And my brother and my sister are also around here too. And my bro is the guy who helped kind of make me a little bit more social. When we lived together, when I was in grad school, he was in college. Taught me to kind of loosen up and have a bit more fun and actually be able to do something like this and have the confidence to pull something off like this. So really, thank you for that. And my sister, as I may have mentioned, was actually the inspiration for the Idea Foundry. She's a sculptor herself and an instructor up in Vermont, and invited me one year to give a guest lecture to her art students. And I thought, new PhD, hard scientist, I'll teach these artists something real. I couldn't teach them anything practical. And they were all better welders, blacksmiths, machinists, and makers than I was. So I was hugely jealous and inspired to actually get my hands dirty and make something. So be careful what you wish for, at least in the dirty hands part, in Australia, the making part. Grateful for that. And I think my girlfriend Teresa is the sweetest and most patient person ever. Thank you so much for putting up with the long hours and making me look a little better than I would otherwise. And huge thanks also to Matt, who is a one-man army. I don't think there's a thing in this shop. Don't want to interrupt the applause for Matt that he hasn't touched. About an hour ago, you might have seen him on a ladder hanging our sign, actually. And Casey, a one-woman executive suite who... who has really righted the ship and kept us on the straight and narrow from the business point of view. She designed the whole website. A lot of stuff you don't see happens on Casey's shoulders. And they literally both worked themselves sick the last month coming here. So thank you again. Speaking of tireless, the Compton Construction, I know Jim called out Blake, but I thought I worked hard. I thought the people that I knew worked hard. I have had the bar raised for what it means to work hard by watching that guy put everything together here. Yeah. And not just to do the work, but also to help us develop realistic budgets early on, to really know what we're getting involved in. And Compton Construction is enormously involved in the community. Those three have also always done it, Matt, Casey, and Blake, with a smile, too. It's made this whole event fun. Triad, also our architects that have worked as a design build partner for Compton, did an amazing job doing something extremely complicated where you have kids learning to weld while you've got IT professionals pitching business talks on the second floor. It's very complicated mixed use. I didn't think could happen. They managed to make it work. Again, thanks to Mr. Jay Panzer. He's our owner's rep. He was the gray beard in the room, as Jim likes to say, and he was recommended by the Columbus Foundation to keep us on the straight and narrow. If you like these big, shiny garage doors that have glass windows in them to keep the airy light through, you can thank him. We certainly do. Thanks again to Jim. I told him that short of my parents helping me through school, I think this opportunity is the biggest thing that's ever happened to me personally, and by extension, hopefully to everyone who's interested in this shop. And not only from a business point of view has this been a delightful couple of years, but we share a drink or two at Strongwater, and I heard once you should never go into business with your friends, but make friends with your business partners, and I'm very glad that's happened. Last few thanks. Brianne DeRolf of Drift Industry and Killian McElroy of sidecar together, partnered to do the pro bono design work in our gallery, in our lobby area. So please check out the lobby area after we're done. See photos of their vision for how we're going to beautify the space. We're grateful for their work and looking forward to working on the second floor and elsewhere with them together. Hugely talented at branding spaces and giving us a really, really, truly unique experience. And then Joe Toth of Tier 5 has been tirelessly installing cameras and cables and IT security with his dad, too, donating time and effort. So we're keeping us secure. We've got hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of gear in here, and we're grateful that it's all being protected by Joe and his efforts. And I know I am going to be forgetting people, so please, apologies in advance. So before introducing the mayor and asking him to participate in our really quirky event, I've heard recently, hang out with people who are smarter than you, fight above your weight class. That was a new one for me. So pick opponents that are tougher than you, pick projects that are bigger than you, and operate a little out of your comfort zone, and that's how you strive, that's how you succeed, that's how you achieve, and that's what I think every member at the Idea Foundry does. At their groundbreaking, we figured we'd set the bar high, and instead of doing the shovel and dirt, we challenged the mayor to a power tool drag race, and this year we're going to ask him to plasma torch through our metal ribbon, and I know he's probably never done this before. And whereas the power tool drag race is a nice metaphor where you take old tools, make them into fun race cars, we take old buildings, turn them into fun arts and innovation centers, take old neighborhoods, and make them the creative and business center of Franklinton, of Columbus, of Central Ohio. We hope that by doing something a little edgy and a little different, we'll also show that that's where we like to live, a little bit out of our comfort zone. So I think it's going to well. We're going to cheer him on once we do, but before then, I'd love to invite him to give a few words here, and thank him again for all your hard work.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Alex. Is this working? Well, I'm going to start anyway. Today is an historic day. It really is an historic day. Because not far from here, Lucas Sullivan, who founded the city of Columbus, put a stake in the ground right here in Franklinton. And why is this an historic day? Because Alex today represents another stake in the ground. And the stake in the ground is for this magnificent place, all these partners that have come together. And there'll be other stakes in the ground very shortly that we'll see all throughout Franklinton. And I'm so proud of what you have done and everyone have come together to make happen. The makerspace is perfect. When I heard of this idea, I said, make it happen. Because a makerspace is perfect for this neighborhood. Because this neighborhood represents the entire makerspace of the city of Columbus. Creative, innovative, thoughtful ideas that will emanate from this building, but also from all throughout entire Franklinton. And so, again, thank you, and I'm so glad we're here today. We should have invited one other person in light of the torched burning that we'll have here, and that's the fire chief. I hope I don't burn all this down, all this work. So we'll be very careful. Again, thank you very much. God bless you. And this is a great day.
Ready?
It's time for the ribbon cutting. Not yet. 5 minutes. We need to get prepared.
Got to get my clothes on.
Got to get the mayor in his safety outfit.
Is everybody ready? Let the games begin. Hang on. There you go. All right, where's the fire chief? Governor.